Hello and welcome to the July wrap up on my Little Drops of Wonderful channel, which is where I talk about all of my knitting and crochet and crafting shenanigans that I've got up to in the past month. We're calling it the July wrap up, but I'm wondering if roundup might be better. Wrap up or roundup? Wraps make me think of like Marks and Spencer's chicken Caesar wraps, which are delicious. So I don't want to feel hungry every time I film. I think wrap up. Anyway, that is a tangent we don't need to go off on. You might notice I am in a very different location to normal, and I will explain that in a moment. But just to begin with, I will tell you that my name is Ali and I live in Kent in the very southeast of England, although I am currently in the Highlands of Scotland, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Starry Eyes Ali, or on my other channel, which is my vlogging channel, where very soon there will be a whole series of vlogs about our Scottish adventures here on the west coast. We're actually right on the banks of Loch Lochy, where we are, and I'm really looking forward to sharing all of the adventures that we've been having in those vlogs. Did I say the channel name? It's This Little Wonderful Life. I would have put it on the screen, and everything that you need to know is linked underneath as well. Some people pointed out that I keep saying my, oh, there's a little bird on the table. There's so much wildlife here. There's two little birds eating a biscuit. So we see if we can film it. Oh, just flew off. I'm filming what I can see. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Dan's just brought me a cup of tea.
Hello, everybody.
We're very yellow. Cheers. That'll be too hot to drink. Now he's dancing. The door's glass, and now he's dancing. If there's any more wildlife, I'll try and film it. And I've now completely lost my train of thought. I'm talking about knitting, talking about crochet. Everything's underneath in the description box. Oh, people had pointed out I've always saying my email's under there, and it isn't. It's in the About Me tab on the front page of my channel. So I've been lying all this time. Chapter links are underneath, and I try to link everything that I talk about as well. So basically everything you need to know should be underneath in the description box. But feel free to leave a comment and ask me if I've missed anything. So I'm going to insert a little bit of footage so you can see exactly where we are here in Scotland, what the house looks like and what the loch looks like and what we've been up to. So I'll quickly do that now so you get a picture of where we are. Then I'll give you a little idea of what my July's been like, and then we'll get sucked straight into the crochet and knitting stuff. And I've brought it all with me. That's how dedicated I am. So whilst you were watching that little bit of footage, I did manage to get a little bit of a film of a birdie on the table. And if you're wondering why we have a biscuit covered in jam and peanut butter tied to a log on the table, it's because we've been trying to attract pine martins. We know there is definitely a few in this area. Oh, the mouse is back. There's a little mouse, he wants the biscuit too, and we've moved the chair so that he can get up onto the table. The mouse is right there now. This is a terrible place to film because I'm going to be really distracted by what's going on out there, and I'm going to have to keep stopping to film mice and birds eating a biscuit. It's terrible. Right, I'm going to try and ignore all that and get stuck in. So let's have a little chat about July. So July has been a bit busy. I've got some things done and a lot of things not done in terms of my crafting goals and so on. I've also had a couple of little setbacks which I shall explain. One of them was actually my Christmas jumper, which I have here. I don't really talk about it on the podcast because I have a whole separate series of videos that I'm filming throughout the year about making my Christmas jumper. And I'm finally on track with my Christmas jumper, which is in here. So I'm going to give you a bit of a flash of it. So this is a bit of a tangent, but you can see I have made a really good start on the yoke of my Christmas jumper. This is the Festive Yoke Pullover by Skillshare Knits. However, I have just joined in a new ball of yarn, and it's really, really different in colour. It's a completely different dye lot. And I did kind of graduate it in over like 3 or 4 rows, but it's really obvious. the difference in the yarn. Really pleased with the yoke. I don't know how well that will come out until I edit it, but there's a very definite difference in the new yarn, which is a kind of brighter, lighter red than the original darker one. So it feels a little bit disheartening to have to start again. However, there was a lot of issues that I had, so I feel like starting again will be a lot quicker process than it was doing it the first time round. And someone else in the comments on my Christmas jumper video had said, instead of don't rip it out, leave it, just start again with the other yarn, and then it won't feel quite so upsetting that you have to frog something. Leave the frogging until you've passed that point in starting again. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to do that when I get home, because I've had other things that have been kind of absorbing my attention and that are also easier to work on long car journeys, which of course we drove to Scotland and we'll be driving home from Scotland, and we're also making a stop in York. So it's a lot of car journeys going on. Yeah, so July, it's quite a bonkers month. It's a month of transitions. The girls both finished college and school. So my eldest daughter's just finished her first year of performing arts. She's 17, so she'll be going to her second and final year before she goes to university after the summer. And my youngest daughter's just finished her first year of secondary school. So it feels really transition-y. Everyone's growing up. It's a really big jumps at the moment. Dan's in a job that he really loves. The kitchen's been done, and there's just been so much change and so much happening. So it has felt like a really kind of busy and fast month, July. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you what I have managed to get done. What else? Oh yes, and obviously on the last day of July, on Sunday just gone, instead of hovering this in front of my face, I'll take a slurp and put it down. Lovely. Of course we've got our Yorkshire tea bags with us, because we've got to have our Yorkshire tea even when we're on holiday. I'm going to stop with all the preamble and the rambling, so let's just get on. And I'm going to share with you my first finished thing, my only finished thing. No, that's not true. I've got some sewing things to share with you as well, but the girls aren't up and some of them are in their room, so I might only be able to share with you one, and then I might do an overlay. But again, I'm off on a tangent. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's because I'm in holiday mode. It's upstairs at the bottom of my suitcase. Hang on a second. Okay. I hope the sound's okay in here, by the way. I'm in the conservatory of the house and it's really beautiful and obviously gorgeous views. We're on the edge of an estate, a Highland estate. There's another bird there, and it's lovely, but we are right on the road. We're right on the A86, I think it is. And it's quiet a lot of the time, but obviously it's Friday morning, so it's quite busy. And there's also a big cycling competition going on down the road in Fort William, so the traffic's really increased for that. So you may hear cars and lorries going past. Here is my first finished object. I finished my Destroy the Like button socks. This was yarn that was hand dyed for me quite a few years ago, and the name comes from a saying in one of our vlogs, something Phoebe and Lilia said in a vlog, way back, I think 2019 or 2018. So this self-striping yarn was dyed for me especially by a lovely friend Lorraine, and she gave it to me when I went to Fibre East, the first and only time that I went to Fibre East, which was quite a while ago now, and it's come out brilliantly. I just love how these stripes have worked, and I've got them almost identical. Didn't quite mean to do that, but they are almost identical, aren't they? So I just did a vanilla sock, 1x1 twisted rib, which I love. At the top, I used the Knit Pro Cubics. Is that what I used? I can never remember who makes the metal cubics. Have I got the pouch for them? No. I've got them here. Does it say on them? No. 2.25mm. They look like this. They're square. My hands are probably really dry because I've spent half the week in a lock on a paddleboard. Yeah, so they're kind of square, and I love these, and they're quite sharp as well, which I don't normally like because I do tend to push with my finger, but actually they're kind of just the blunt end of sharp, if that makes sense. So I'm really pleased with those, and they just make my stitches look so neat. I love them. I just did a heel flap and gusset and umbrella toe, Kate Jones umbrella toe, which is my favourite toe. Because it's such a nice round shape. Oh, sorry if I'm wobbling you. You are balanced on top of an empty Diet Coke box on a table. I don't have my tripod with me. Yeah, I love the umbrella toe because it gives it a nice rounded fit on my feet, which really feels comfortable for me. But also at the end, you've only got about eight or 4 even stitches to Kitchener. So you don't have to do much Kitchenering, but also you're not sort of pulling it snug, just like a drawstring. So having to Kitchen at those last few stitches feels really nice and secure, which is why I like it. So I had some yarn left for this. I wrote down how much. Oh yeah, I should also say the first sock I completely finished, but it was too short. So I knit the second sock correctly to work out the right fit. Then I had to rip back the second sock and then join in yarn and make it properly. So I'm also really impressed with myself that I managed to do that without you really spotting any, cutting and joining of self-striping yarn. I was quite impressed with myself. So I've got 33 grams left of that yarn, which is in a little cake here that's slightly falling apart. So I thought what might be fun is to do a pair of shorty socks. I did toy with the idea of maybe doing them toe up, because then I could use every last bit of the yarn, but I don't find toe up socks fit me very well, so I probably won't. But I am going to use some contrast yarn to do the heels, toes and cuffs. So I had a little rummage in my leftovers before we left for holiday, and it's all living in one of my dodgy bags, by the way. This is just made out of an old pair of jeans. I've got a tutorial on this channel for how I make these little bags. These are really super simple, these ones. They're drawstring, there's no box bottom, you just literally cut it to a shape, and I'll show you how to work that out as well. And what have I got? I've got Pekka, the Spaceman Pekka, little penguin by Deli's Design. She does the cutest little things. And she's got lovely vlogs as well. I'll link her underneath. And then one of my plastic-free, massive Have Happy Adventures badges, designed by my youngest daughter, Phoebe. Yeah, my shop is closed for August, but it will be open in the next couple of weeks. I thought that was very appropriate for being on our adventures in Scotland. So I'm going to use this bag, which is the one I was using for these. So I'll just keep this yarn in there. And then I've got some leftovers from other socks and things that I've made, and I thought it might be really nice to do kind of a mixture of variegated yarns rather than solid colours to match. So I've got, I think this is Fame by Back to Blighty, my lovely friend Becky. So Fame I'll use for one of the contrasts, either the heels, toes or cuffs. And then I've got, oh, what's this one? One of these is also Back to Blighty. Lobster Lagoon, or the mouse is back. I can't remember. These are both lobster related. One of them's by Back to Blighty. I can't remember. But that's the plan, is to have these and this, and have sort of crazy variegated shorty socks. And I'm really looking forward to that, because I do like a bit of, bonkers colour combinations. I enjoy it. So that's my first finished object. I've been setting myself goals at the end of each month of things that I would like to achieve over the coming month. And they are very much loose goals and guidelines and just things to help keep me motivated in my making. I am finding it really helps to set myself goals so I can get through stuff and feel motivated to work on them. That's not to say that other things don't come along and get in the way and distract me, which is exactly what happened. I had a goal to finish my Amma top, which is a free pattern, a free crochet pattern by Maria Vallis. I had finished the first, I had 2 skeins of beautiful Cookston Crafts yarn in the colour Granite. And you basically make 2 big granny squares and then you join them together, and there's a bit of stuff going on around the neck and the arms, I think. But after I had finished my first square, I haven't brought the progress on the second square with me. So this is the first square. I realised I wasn't going to have enough yarn. Like my dress, by the way. I'm being brave and wearing dresses. Especially brave because I'm not very good at wearing dresses, and also because it's not as warm here as it is down south. So this is just the right size. I've blocked this and I've measured it. So I know this is the right size. If I have another one, this is going to fit really well. But I won't have any yarn left. Sorry if the light's a bit funny. I've kind of got light coming in on all sides. I'll hold this up a bit closer so you can see the colour. It's beautiful. Isn't that lovely? So this is Granite by Cooks and Crafts, and so I'm going to have 2 of these. I have plenty of yarn to do 2 of those, but then I don't have the yarn to attach them or do the finishing. So I contacted Claire, who is the dyer behind Cooks and Crafts, to see if she still dyed this in this kind of dye lot kind of thing, but the colour has changed a little bit since I was given this a couple of years ago. So she had a couple of versions. She had her newest version, which is beautiful, but quite a lot brighter, or another version which was darker. So I went for she only had 50 grams of the darker, so I bought that from her. It is quite a bit darker, but the speckles are the same colour. So I'm thinking that might actually be quite lovely to have that as a contrast for the armholes and maybe around here. And then if I have any left and need to add some length, I can. But because it's crochet, I feel quite confident to just have a little bit of a mess about, and it's really easy to take back and try again and try different yarns. And if this ends up not working, it's going to make absolutely beautiful socks or a beautiful hat. So lovely. Really pretty. So that's where I am with that. But so we had a conversation about this and about yarn, and I bought this, and she very kindly sent it to me really quickly because she was going on holiday the next day. And when it arrived, she'd also sent a surprise along with it, and it was her summer treat box. So Claire does treat boxes that they're surprises. So I think you buy them. I wonder if she's got the next one in her shop. Also, I should say that she is based in Scotland. She's based in, I think, Ellen in Aberdeenshire, which is where we normally go. We don't normally come to the west coast of Scotland. It's been a very different experience. Oh my goodness. All the birds in Scotland are currently on the table having a go at that biscuit. Yeah, we normally go to the east coast because that's where my family are. So the big difference we've noticed here is how much busier it is. It's a lot more touristy and much busier. Still absolutely stunningly beautiful though. We have loved our holiday here. Right, let's have a look. Treat boxes. Okay, so it looks like you can subscribe to it, and it's every 2 months on her website. I'll link it underneath, but it also looks like you can buy them separately as well. And you can choose to have DK or fingering weight, and you can choose 100, 200 or 300 gram yarns, and then you can say yes please or no thank you to the treats. But I have to say, I opened up this treat box and it was just gorgeous. So I filmed the opening of it when I was at home because I didn't want to bring everything with me. So I will insert that here so you can have a look at just how great everything was. Isn't that amazing? And I brought with me all the way to Scotland the Slow and Rose lemonade from the Breckland Orchard, which was part of that. And I thought we could try it and see what it's like. We also bought the rhubarb and custard, which has gone down very well this week. We've been eating them as we've been travelling around Scotland in the car, eating rhubarb and custard and looking at the gorgeous scenery. Right, let's try this. Oh my goodness, that is so nice. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, it's lovely and cold as well. I'm going to put that there and we share that with the girls when they get up as well, but that is absolutely yum. So I will try to link them underneath as well. I just assume I'll link everything I talk about. I won't keep saying that. So thank you so much for that, Claire. I've yet to message you properly on Instagram to say thank you. So that's my Amma top and other tangents. But the thing that's really been sort of occupying my time is the Mellow Waves cardigan by Dora Does. Now, my goal when I spoke to you last was to start this, and I have, so yay me. I can tick that off on my list, and I've done quite well. I had to frog a bit when I realised I'd made a mistake, but I'm back to that point and past it now. So the Mellow Waves cardigan is a crochet, sort of cropped crochet cardigan designed to use, I think, less than 200 grams of yarn, fingering weight yarn. And it's by Dora Explored. She's Dora Explored on Instagram, I think. And I'm using yarn left over from the dress that I made for Lilia, which I'm sure you will all know because it took me a long time to make it, so I talked about it for quite a long time. But the yarn I used was lovely, and I had enough left of the pink to do what I needed to do, and it is Schachenmayer Catania yarn. They come in 50 gram balls, and I'm using the dusty pink colour. I don't have the ball band with me, unfortunately. So I shall look up and put on the screen what the colour number is. And then I bought, to go with it, their natural one, which is colour 00105. And I'm making this as one of my entries into the Strawberry Shortcake MAL, which is in full swing at the moment. It's running until the 19th of August, so by the time you watch this, it will still be going. And I will talk about that a little bit later separately, because I've got a few other bits I've been making as well. But this is where I am with my Mellow Waves cardigan. So how you do it is you crochet this long bit at the top, then you join in and crochet these two panels for the front sides, okay? So this is going to be like almost like the top of the cardigan. Then I'm going to be making another little bit in pink on each side. On each side, so one here for the back panel and one on this side for the back panel, so that they will then sort of join as the sleeves under here. And then there's going to be the natural colour underneath. So this is why I've chosen the colours, because it reminded me of strawberries and cream for the Strawberry Shortcake MAL. And it's all cotton, which I really wanted. When I saw the pattern, I could just imagine it in cotton, you know, nice little throw on for just this time of year, really. So I'm really excited about it. And I just wanted to make a lovely sort of crochet thing that had a really easy repeat that I could remember and just work on in the car. And I'm really enjoying it. The pattern is kind of a wave pattern. It's like a ripple pattern where one row is solid and one row is lacy. It's really easy to remember. I'm really enjoying doing it. And this has just kind of had my heart really come on light for the last couple of weeks, and it was perfect for when we were in the car. Yeah. As an aside, actually, I have a story for you about Lilia's crochet dress. Just need to change my battery first though. Probably never get that back in the right position now, will I? There you go. To see the shed garage thing behind me, that's where we're keeping our paddle boards this week. Yeah, so Lilia wore her dress out. She went to see the Patriots, the musical, in London, and she said they were sitting there and there was these sort of older ladies about my mum's age in their 70s in front, and they kept sort of turning around and looking at her, and she was beginning to think, oh no, what, you know, have I done something wrong? Have I been too loud? You know, what's wrong? And in the interval they said to her, is your dress crocheted? And she said, oh, yeah, it is. And they said, did you make it yourself? And she said, no, my mum made it for me. And they said, wow, that is very clever. So she was delighted because someone had asked her about her dress. And I was absolutely thrilled with that. because I was like, oh my goodness, someone noticed something I made, even though I wasn't there. It's a really lovely pattern. It's the, I'm having some more of the lemonade. I can't resist. It's the, and that kind of goes well with the strawberry Shortcake MAL theme, doesn't it? What am I saying? It's the Mystique dress, and it can also be made as a top by hook loops. I really enjoyed making it, but it did take me a long time. Okay, so things that I haven't done, so therefore haven't brought with me. I didn't make any progress at all. Wonky. I didn't make any progress at all on the Tenney beanie, which is a pattern by Margaret Stauffacher of Whimsy North, which I'm making with the most glorious third vault yarn, but I haven't made any progress on that. And I haven't cast on the contrast bar socks by Stephen West, which is his mystery knit-along. So I've seen plenty of spoilers now, so I kind of know what they look like, and it's kind of put me off a bit. Although it does mean I can make adjustments. There's like one bit I really like and one bit I don't, so I think I can therefore make adjustments, which is also handy because I was a bit worried about the amount of yarn I had. So I'm still definitely going to make those, but I just didn't get around to casting on in time, which I think says to me that something like that, where there's like kind of time involved, otherwise you get spoilers, is probably not for me, because I just don't work like that as a crafter, I think. Lesson learned. And that's fine. These are motivational goals, not hard and fast rules, so, you know, I don't feel terrible about that at all. So for August, given it's the summer break and rules and routine obviously go completely out the window, and I think this podcast, there's a robin. There's a robin. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh, he just nicked a bit of peanut butter and flew away. He was really, really round. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, so as you can see, this podcast very much demonstrates that everything's just out the window and it's all a bit So I'm not adding any new goals for August. I'm just going to see where August takes me. I'm going to work on the existing goals that I had set for July, which were... Oh, I just realised I forgot to show you the finished sewing thing as well. I'll do that in a minute. Don't let me forget before the end. Hello, it's me in the future with no makeup on and still in my pyjamas, because I completely forgot to tell you about my sewing project that I had completed. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I've got in front of me, and then we're going to go back to me in the podcast talking about all things knitting and crochet and forgetting to talk about this. So this is what I have finished. These are my book pouches. I will put underneath the tutorial I used. It was a YouTube tutorial. It was really simple. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I will link the video underneath. It was completely free. I had this wonderful gifted fabric, this Alice in Wonderland fabric, which I love. I have my project bag for my Christmas jumper in this fabric, so I was delighted to have some sent to me to use. So I made myself and a couple of friends some book pouches with this. I've got a special little handmade button that I've been waiting to use on a special project forever, so I've finally done that. This is a hair tie, and that keeps it all nicely together, and it's even got a little pocket on the front so you can keep your bookmark, or in this case it's the thing for the button. So I can tell you it is from Hall and Hoof Farm Store. It was a gift from Carleen. Thank you, Carleen. So you can keep your bits and bobs there. The tutorial actually has a little bit of Velcro or a snap here, but I didn't do that. And as you can see, it's fitted my book in that I'm reading at the moment. Not that I've read much this holiday at all, but I am reading The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley, and it fits perfectly. I've just lined it with a dark green. And I did one each for the girls as well, that you can probably just see in the background here. So for Phoebe's one, I did Red Riding Hood because I had some of this fabric left over, and I had a little wooden button and a purple hair tie, and she's got the Alice fabric for the pocket. Well, she's got Tic Tacs and pens and things in the pocket there. And this is Lilia's one. I did her the little reading, what's she got on it? Crumbs. Little reading girl that looks like Lilia, and then this lovely fabric which I've used on other things that I've made for her in the past. She's got her pens in the front because she annotates books, and in here I think she's got, this isn't the book she's reading, this is a book that I bought her for holiday. So you can see that that's quite a bit bigger than my book, and it fits really well. The tutorial gives 3 different sizes. This is the medium size. Okay, back to me in the past. So yes, so my July goals that I've still got remaining is to finish the Amma top, the crochet square Amma top, finish the Tenney beanie, start the contrast socks by Stephen West, and do an audit of lurking projects with all my bags and things that I've got lurking in cupboards and everywhere that need attention. So those are my July goals that I haven't sort of got started on. So I'm just going to carry those forward to August and see where we end up at the end of August. You know, just kind of move my way through August in a kind of free and hippie type, you know, way. Whatever, just go with the flow. That's so not me. Okay, so we talk a little bit about the strawberry shortcake make-along, or should we talk about Skillshare? What should we talk about first? Let's talk about the strawberry shortcake along, then we'll talk about Skillshare, then we'll talk about some lovely patterns on my radar, and a whole load of other stuff as well. So the Strawberry Shortcake MAL is running until the 19th of August. It's in full swing now. The idea is to make anything sort of influenced and inspired by summer sweetness. It was originally inspired by the strawberry shortcake dolls, which I absolutely loved in my childhood. The hashtag is Strawberry Shortcake MAL 23, which you can use on Instagram, and or you can post in the Ravelry thread. The link is underneath, and you can do any craft at all. You can do sewing, baking, knitting, crochet, weaving, cross stitch, whatever you can think of. As long as it's got that kind of summer sweetness theme and you can make it fit, it's fine. It's a very relaxed make along, and I have some absolutely amazing prizes. I shared some last time, and I've also got a couple more. Alyssa over at Naya's Toy Box has given one each of her, I'm really terrible at saying this, so she's got 2 patterns. One is the strawberry doll pattern and one is the blueberry doll pattern. They are gorgeous, they are so cute, and I've got one of each pattern as a prize. I want to create a whole list of all of the prizes for Ravelry, which I will do when I get back, and for Instagram as well, because the prizes that I've got have been so unexpected, because this was just such a last minute make along, and I've got some wonderful things as prizes. And also I wanted to mention that Miss Nis Designs has given 50% off her Have Your Cake and Eat It socks, which are just perfect for this make along as well. So by the time you see this, there will still be plenty of time to use that code. It's 50% off on her Ravelry page, and I haven't actually written down what the code is. I think it was a really good hashtag, which I should have thought of, because my one's really long and cumbersome, and the one she did was much better. Hang on a minute. Oh, SSC MAL 23. How much better is that? Rather than that really long hashtag. So if you use the code SSC MAL 23 on Ravelry, she is Miss Nis Designs. I will link it underneath. You'll get 50% off those Have Your Cake and Eat It socks, and they're really pretty, and you can do them in all manner of colours to make your own kind of layer cake inspired sock. They're really, really lovely. I would really like to make an amigurumi for this make along. Actually, I have made some more strawberries, so I shared these on Instagram. Last time I showed you these little mini strawberries that I made. Well, what was the pattern? I'll have to put the pattern on the screen because I can't remember. And then I was really addicted to making them, and I had this really thick sort of Aran weight cotton yarn, and I held it triple and crocheted it quite tightly, and I made these kind of luminous, oh, children are up, can see them, I might get interrupted. So, I made these luminous strawberries, and I really loved making these. They're so pointless, but I love them. I just love pointless little crochet things. They just make me so happy. And of course I brought them all the way to Scotland. So I've got a giant one, and then I just did a bit of a mishmash of greens for its leaves, and then I've got a slightly smaller one with just the lighter green, and then I've got a medium one with the darker green. And doing the little seeds is the most satisfying thing in the world. I could do that all day long. The mouse is back. He's climbing up the chair. Go on, mouse, you can do it. Do, 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 do. No, you're going the wrong way. No, you're going the wrong way. You've got to go along the arm. Do, 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 do. Oh, good grief, mouse. It's right there on the table. I'll keep you updated on the mouse activity. So yeah, I absolutely love making these. So this is another thing that I've been doing for the Strawberry Shortcake MAL. Put those there. And then I had some of that yarn left over, the green and the pink. So I made myself a little summer fruits inspired bowl. I shared this on Instagram and I put the instructions for what I did, which was really, really basic and simple. And I just made, the trick is holding your yarn triple, use a hook much smaller than you would usually use. It's quite hard on the hands, but for something little like this, it doesn't really matter. And then it will hold its shape as a basket. So I made a little watermelon basket, and then I had a little bit left, so I made a little watermelon coaster as well. So I've had lots of fun with this theme for the make-along. It's been a lot of fun. It's made me appreciate my least favourite season a lot more by doing it. So yeah, if you want to join in, all the information is underneath. And now obviously it would be ridiculous to bring a load of 80s toys all the way to Scotland with me just to demonstrate my love of Strawberry Shortcake dolls, wouldn't it? So of course I did that. In here I have a little collection of Strawberry Shortcake dolls that I found at my mum's house. This strawberry, I can't remember if I got it for a birthday or Christmas or anything, but I was absolutely obsessed with it. I couldn't believe my luck when I got this, because I've been obsessing over it in all the little catalogues. You used to get these little toy catalogues that you could pore over in the 80s. And I just loved looking at all the stuff you could get for Strawberry Shortcake. I couldn't believe it when I got the strawberry. So it opens up. I'll never get rid of this. I remember carrying it around France with me when we went on holiday. And I've put a selection of the dolls in here. So we've got in here Strawberry Shortcake herself. And I've shared previously some amazing amigurumi Strawberry Shortcake dolls, and I would absolutely love to make them. So here she is. This is my original Strawberry Shortcake, and this was one of my absolute favourites. I don't remember their name. I think she was called Lemon Meringue, because I loved her hair, and obviously she's yellow, and yellow has always been my favourite colour, always will be. So that is Lemon Meringue, I think. Oh, and I should say that they still do smell a bit, and it takes me right back. And so Strawberry Shortcake's cat, Strawberry Shortcake, they all had like little animals. So Strawberry Shortcake had a cat, but I can't remember the cat's name. And then Lemon Meringue had, oh, does she have the dog? Or was that, or the frog? I think she had the frog. And I just loved frogs as well. I collected frogs when I was little. So this whole combination was just very me. I think she had the frog. Or maybe the frog belonged to the other one. I can't remember. And then the twins, these are, I think these were called Lemon and Ada. They were something to do with lemonade. So that you have the twins, and they had a dog. I think that was their dog. So that's the twins. And then we've got Huckleberry Pie, I think he is. And I think his was the dog. Or was this? No. I think his was the dog, because he's got the stripy ears, like the stripy clothes. But now I'm thinking, was he going to do the cappuccino one? I'm not sure, but that's huckleberry pie. And then one of my favourite ones was orange blossom, because I loved her outfit. I loved the colours because it was orange, and I loved the smell. And I don't know where she is. I've got her hat. It's quite alarming, really. So her hat is here, and her butterfly is here. It doesn't have its smell anymore. That's Orange Blossom's butterfly and hat, but no Orange Blossom. It's a little bit like she was here, and now she just went poof. So I need to raid my mum's house a bit more and try and find her. So that's where the original inspiration for the MAL came from, was the strawberry shortcake dolls, which I just so loved, and they're just like a celebration of fruits and sweetness and summer and innocence, and oh, I just love it. And my strawberry, I'm so happy to be reunited with my strawberry. Right, let's have a little chat about Skillshare, because it's kind of related to the strawberry thing, and you'll see why in a minute. So I've partnered with Skillshare quite a few times before, and I'm really excited to be doing so again. Every time I've worked with them, I've so enjoyed the opportunity to really get stuck into the classes and all of the things all of the creative things that there are to get lost in. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for us creatives, and if you've seen me talk about them before, you would have seen me do everything from needlepoint to smashing pigment out of plants to photography, videography, watercolours, drawing, sewing, cross stitch, map drawing, everything. I've had so much fun delving into the huge expanse of topics that are available to tantalise your creative taste buds. Do you see how I brought that into kind of like eating and strawberries and things there? I'm such a professional. So whenever I talk about Skillshare on this podcast, you know that I'm going to share a little bit of what I've been up to and what I've been learning. And because of the Strawberry Shortcake MAL, and because I've been doing a lot more watercolours and things recently, I thought the perfect class to try would be the Watercolour Juicy Fruits with Emily Wassell. It's a really simple class, really informative, and quite a quick class as well. She explains colour mixing, shadows, shapes, and she's got this lovely loose style, which is great for me because I'm usually really uptight and I really need to learn that. So I haven't got that sketchbook with me here in Scotland, so I'm going to insert a little bit of footage of the work that I did on that and the finished result of what I was doing playing with this class. It's not perfect, there are mistakes, but I'm really, really pleased, and the class was so much fun to do. I found it so good, and I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes long or something, and for the amount that you learn in that short space of time, I was so pleased. Next on my list though, so what I've been doing whilst I'm on holiday is I've got my sketchbook here. This is my other sketchbook, which isn't so good for watercolour. It's a moleskin. I'm still doing watercolour in it, but I tend to use it for pen drawings. But I'm using it as my holiday diary. So here's page 1. You can see I've been sketching the cottage where we are and butteries, which I'm obsessed with. And I've been using watercolour to kind of highlight it and give it colour, obviously. But usually what I've done is a really simple little notebook holiday diary, which is now completely full up and finished. There's 7 years worth of holidays in here, where I would just do little doodles, which I would then colour in pencil. So here's a little spread from when we were in Denmark. I think that was Denmark. Yes, because that's Copenhagen. And they're just really simple little doodles, a little diary of what we got up to in the day, and pencil drawings. And I really love the idea of just doing drawings in pencil, because it's so neat, it's so clean, it's so portable, you can do it anywhere, you don't need water or anything like that. So my next on my list to do when I get back is the coloured pencil drawing course from beginner to intermediate with Amelie Braun. It is a full-on course with just under 6 hours of lessons, so I'm really looking forward to, maybe when the kids are back at school and college, to really giving myself a couple of days to sit down and really work on that, and I'm really excited for that. So if you want to unlock or level up, so I'm really sorry Skillshare, but there's a bird on biscuit again. I was thrown away. Okay, you're in luck, I can concentrate on what I'm doing. If you want to level up your creativity, you can use the link that I've got in my description box and the pinned comment that I'll put underneath the video, and it will give you 1 month completely free on Skillshare to dive in and have a really good look around for free. Make sure you read the small print, so you know if you do want to cancel your trial, you know what to do, and make sure you're aware of how to do that. But you know, dive in, paint some watercolour cherries, or you know, get yourself absorbed in a 6-hour pencil drawing course. Learn to sew or sing or play the guitar even. They even do career focus classes too if you want to sort of move your working life into something creative. Honestly, love it. I've been a member now for I think about 3 years, and yeah, I love it. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Patterns on my radar. Let's move on to patterns on my radar. I love this bit. This is where I talk about all the patterns that I've either been given as gifts or I've noticed and just add it to my ever increasing list of stuff I want to make in my lifetime. So I wanted to share a couple of strawberry related amigurumis. I shared lots of patterns in my June roundup, my last video, which is episode 102, for the make along if you want to have a look, and not just amigurumi, but these ones are amigurumi and really caught my eye. So the first one is Strawberry Shortcake by Daisy's Tiny Things. I'll move over a bit so I can put up pictures. It's $5.40, so that's about £4.20 at the moment, I think. It's utterly adorable and it has bloomers, little bloomers. And the shoes are just like the doll's shoes. I'm not going to get that all out again, but you saw the little shoes. Yeah, I just love that. I was also very, very kindly given as a gift the Crochet's Wonderland ebook by Crochet. This was from Suzanne at Sew Knit Run. It includes 5 different patterns. It's the sweetest thing. You get the fluffy Easter bunny and instructions on how to make it into the white rabbit. You get a little tiny Alice pattern. You get the Wonderland book cover and Wonderland stationery, which is 5 teensy little bits, including a flamingo, because of course they play croquet, don't they, with the flamingo. And the designer has a YouTube channel as well. It's Crochet. I think she's in Thailand, and it's all incredibly cute because I went to have a little look. The Alice pattern is actually available as a free YouTube tutorial, and she has the pink little Daisy My Sweetie doll as well on her channel, which is a very strawberry shortcake, don't you think? So yeah, I'll link all that underneath because I went down a little white rabbit hole there looking at all her bits and bobs. I was also given the Don't Forget the Chicken Socks by Under the Willow Knits. This was from Angela at Knitting Piange. Thank you so much, Angela. But it jogged a memory, and I realised I've been sent a hard copy as a gift before. And normally what I do when I'm sent a gift like this is I write on it who sent it to me, so I remember, you know, if I make it, who to tag or who to tell. So this is the pattern I was sent by Angela, but I've also previously been sent it before, and I'm really sorry, person who sent it to me, but I haven't written it down. It's not even on my spreadsheet. I keep a spreadsheet of everything I get in the post. The light is, I'll try and get close to the camera. It'll be a bit alarming, but at least you'll be able to see me. So yeah, I wanted to just say thank you to both of you for that beautiful pattern by Under the Willow Knits. It's really gorgeous, and it just looks like my little chickens, and I miss them so much because we're on holiday. They do have a little, they do have plenty of care. So our neighbour, who is animal mad and like an animal whisperer, is there. Cloud is on antibiotics at the moment, and she's doing a sterling job of administering the medication, and my mum's popping in as well. So those chickens are very well loved. We're getting lots of lovely videos, but we do miss them, and we miss the cat that's not our cat as well. But the same neighbour is also looking after not our cat for our neighbours who are also away. So I'm getting reports on the cat, even though she's not our cat. So I know she's okay as well. What else? Oh yes, so Suzanne, hi Suzanne, sent me in the post a cutout from a magazine. And she said, oh, I saw this in a magazine and I thought you'd really like it. And I really, really do. It is the Crochet Tunic pattern. Here it is. I really, really do like that. I think that is such a fun pattern. And I've got plenty of cotton yarn, which I think would work really well. But I also think it would work well in a nice super wash merino or just something like that would be really lovely. Because it was in a magazine and I got Readly, so I've been working with Readly on my vlogging channel, I searched crochet tunic on the Readly app and found it on there, so I've managed to save it electronically as well. And just in case you're wondering, it's from the People's Friend magazine, 8th of July 2023, if you're interested in that pattern. So thank you, Suzanne, for thinking of me and popping that in the post. I really, really like that. And finally, Nikki messaged me on Instagram and told me about a pattern called the Tacosaurus. So I went and looked this up. It's by Croton's Crochet. The Tacosaurus, it just really made us all giggle. And then I started going through her Instagram and she's got like sushi shark, what was the other one? Krabby Patty, and my personal favourite, pizza bat. I said earlier, didn't I love pointless crochet things and these are just perfect. I love them. Pizza bat. Another slurp. I'm not doing a very good job of saving this for the girls, am I? Oh, the mouse has made it to the biscuit. Moving in, moving in. Don't want to scare him. Oh, he's so cute. So adorable. Oh, and the sun's come out and it's just shining on him and he's eating the jam. Oh, he's having a lovely time. He's going to be very sticky. Oh, just love it. Right, and finally, we've made it to the end. I need to correct myself. So, and finally is where I mop up all the little admin bits. Anything else I need to talk about or mention that doesn't fit in anywhere else. So I need to correct myself on something from the last episode. I was talking about the NFT towels that were a pattern, that were a prize pattern by Fiddles and Giggles. And I said they were crochet. And of course they're not crochet, they're knitted. I think I just had crochet on the brain last time. So they are of course knitted and they are beautiful, and thank you to the winners, all the winners from the last episode for getting in touch so quickly. So all patterns and other prizes have now all been hopefully received. So that's all done. Dan's hat. So the plan was that Dan would finish his hat, because I get asked about this all the time. Is Dan still knitting? How's his hat coming along? He's been learning. His hat's coming on great. He just needs to do the decreases. We have not found a single chance to sit down together and do that. So we made a plan that we would do that before we came away, so he could come and show you his finished hat. Did we do that? No, we did not. I remember to take a huge plastic strawberry filled with dolls from the 1980s, but did I remember to sit down with my husband and get him to finish a hat? No. He is still working on it and we will get around to finishing it. And he's definitely not giving up. Once he's done the hat, he wants to make some socks. Finally, I just wanted to mention, I think it's time for, and I don't think it's in it any way too early, it's really crept up on me, but I need to say the S word, because Strictly season is nearly upon us. By the time you see this, it'll be next month for Strictly. What? Where? How? As time moves so quickly. I feel like we've literally just started January and already I'm talking about Strictly Sock Along. They'll actually start to announce the Strictly Come Dancing contestants soon. So the official dyer this year, I've actually been organised and done it in advance. And fortunately, the lovely lady who's doing the dyeing is a lovely friend of mine, is even more organised. She's already come up with the colourways and she's going to do them as a pre-order towards the end of August, and that is Suzanne at Green Lampkin Yarn. Pre-orders will be available later this month, so keep an eye on my Instagram. Oh, I just had to cough then, which would have cut out, but I scared the birds away. I just coughed and they all went yeah, so pre-orders will be available towards the end of the month. Keep an eye on my Instagram, on Suzanne's Instagram, and my community posts for news about that. And of course, I'll bring news of it in the August roundup at the beginning of September as well. So I think that's it. So from Scotland, I will leave you with maybe a little bit of footage of our Scotland adventures. And if you want some detailed travel and adventure around Scotland and to see what we've been up to fully, then check out the vlogs, which will be on my This Little Wonderful Life channel coming very soon. So thank you for joining me this morning, and I will see you again very soon. And thank you so much for watching. I'm just so grateful that you come back every time to watch and leave your lovely comments and give advice and chat, and you like the videos and subscribe to them. And yeah, I feel very fortunate to have that. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. I am launching into an Oscar acceptance speech, so I'm going to shut up. Until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting. Bye.